Yeah. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's good with everybody? What's up, my fellow explorers of the vibrant mind? Tonight, we're gonna dive into a fascinating concept in psychology that perhaps is new to you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But we're talking about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Let me repeat that. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This theory was developed by Mr. Abraham Maslow in the 1940s, and it changed the game, y'all, on how we think about human motivation. Like, we don't do anything without motivation. You're watching this video right now because something in you is motivating you to. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You feel me? Now, imagine managing your life as you would a garden. So I'm just trying to paint this picture for y'all so y'all can get a better idea of this concept of Maslow's theory. So Maslow's theory is essentially like a gardener's guide or an instruction manual showing us what every plant needs to not just survive, but to flourish and bloom and live its best plant life. In your case, your best human life. So that's why this topic is very relevant to you, so you can understand what motivates us, what gets us going, what keeps us going. So let's dig in and see how this garden grows our own understanding of how our life, your life, works. So let me see if I can get this up for y'all so y'all can see this hierarchy here. So this is the original pyramid, y'all. And we ain't talk about Egypt and the mummies and stuff like that. We ain't talk about none of that. You feel me? Talk about a chart. You know what I'm saying? So, Maslow's motivational model. And I got the chart up for y'all so y'all can see. And at the base of the pyramid, y'all, we have physiological needs. So physiological is just anything of physical capacity. Like you can physically do it or touch it or feel it or see it. So your body is a physical, it's based on physical principles. Okay. So our physiological needs is like the soul of the garden. That's why it's at the base. It's what you're actually planting anything into. Nothing can grow without the soil. It's the most basic necessity that's required in order for your life, my life, to have the capability of rising up this pyramid or this chart. Just as plants need water, sunlight, and nutrients, we need food, water, sleep, and shelter. So the same thing plants need essentially is what we need. You're like a human plant. So one of the same, we gotta have food, we gotta grub, get our tummy right. You feel me? Without our tummy being right, it don't matter what you throw in front of us. We can't do it. We won't be motivated to do it. We don't have the energy. Our stomach overrides everything. We gotta get us food right now. Without water, you'd be so dehydrated. My mouth was so dry earlier after I brushed my teeth. It was so ridiculous. I was like, come on, man. Walking around here with a dry mouth. Rinsed it, still didn't feel like it helped. I had to eat some fruit, man. You feel me? So, just like plants that need water, sunlight, and nutrients, we in our physical body need food, water, sleep, and shelter. That's the premises of this. That's the entry level automatic needs to happen for any and every human being in order for us to develop as individuals, as people, and as nations and communities, tribes, or whatever other word you want to use right there. Okay? So, picture this. You're on a camping trip and suddenly you realize you forgot to pack your food. Your stomach gonna be growling. You feel me? And that ain't, when your stomach growling, bruh, I'm telling you, that ain't a fun place to be. Your stomach gonna be rumbling. It's gonna like override all your thoughts. Like, feed me. Because your body don't care about nothing else right now. It needs what it needs. It's the base of the pyramid. It's the soil. It's required in order for you to move forward in your life. So we're still at the psychological needs base of this theory. You need sleep. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. You need food. Don't let nobody else tell you otherwise. You need water, hydration, sleep, and you need shelter. Even if you find yourself in a situation where for a minute or a moment of your life you're displaced from a home, the people that's displaced still need shelter at the end of the day. Even if that shelter isn't ideal, maybe it's a tent or under a bridge or whatever, that's still a form of shelter. It's covering you from the elements and all the things you can be exposed to. Or at least it's lessening the exposure. Okay? So, you forgot your food on your camping trip. Your stomach ain't gonna let you do nothing until you do it. Your body gonna scream to you, feed me right now. I don't care what you got going. That's your physiological need. It takes front and center. Without that actually being taken care of, nothing else can be accomplished, and you can't develop or grow up this chart at any point. Okay, that makes sense for y'all? All right, we're gonna keep it pushing. So once you have your basic needs taken care of, and I personally believe that at the base of this chart, that honestly should be the role of a society, a government, or anything else. Everyone should have the right and access to all these things: food, water, sleep, and shelter. All the taxes that we pay, everything that we contribute into living in whatever nation or country you live in, automatically, in order to be a thriving society, thriving people, we have to make sure everyone, not no one missing out of this, has their basic physiological needs taken care of. However that system is put in place, or whatever that looks like, hey, get creative and whatever you feel like is best to accomplish that. But don't disregard humans' necessity of these base level needs, y'all. Once you get out of survival mode, it opens up the whole entire world and all kinds of creativity to you and your mind. All right, a step up from that is going to be our safety needs. Okay? Once our basic needs are met, we look for security, straight up. That's basically, if we're referring to the garden, it's the fence around the garden to keep pests out, to make sure that on some level your garden is protected. And the garden will appreciate that too. Like, hey, let me be able to have the opportunity to thrive when not messed with by outside forces. Okay? Now, this just isn't about your physical safety, like your body safety. Okay? It's also about creating a sense of stability and predictability in our lives. When every day you have no clue what's going to happen in your life, you have no clue where you're going to be, you have no clue at all what's going to happen, you can't even predict what's going to happen, that's a chaotic way to live. So safety also incorporates the idea that you can at least predict to some extent what your day should look like tomorrow. Okay? Imagine you in a busted up elevator. It's creaking, it's groaning as it's going up. Are you thinking about your weekend plans or a big project at work? in that moment? I don't think so. If I hear, matter of fact, I was just on one. That thing was moving so slow. I was so confused. I'm like, hold on. We've been like, it's only 2 levels to this thing. I was in that joint a minute. I was starting to get concerned. Like, hold on. So in that moment, my safety was threatened in my mind. Cause I'm like, this should not be taking this long to go from 1 level. So my whole focus is how to get the heck out of here, or what's going on with this metal death trap. Straight up. So luckily that thing opened up right after I started becoming conscious of, hold on, it's been taking a minute now. My boy Tyrone, he was in the side, was like, yeah man, I got in there earlier, it actually took this long. So he was more comfortable because he had already experienced it. But I was like, nah, this shouldn't be taking this long. You know what I'm saying? Maintenance needs to, or whoever created this elevator need to go and figure that out. Straight up. That one cool. So, but the premises is after all your needs are met, your safety will be the next thing that you actually focus on, based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay. Now we're gonna go up a little bit more. Once you feel safe and able to predict what can happen in your life, okay, now we're getting to the love and belongingness. We love ourselves. We feel like we belong where we are right now, or with a group of people, or with our families, whomever you feel attracted or drawn to. You feel like you belong. Now we're getting to the flowers in our garden. The beautiful social parts that make life so colorful, y'all. Okay? This level is all about connections and relationships. Each flower ready to connect with the next, ready to dance in the flow with the next flower. So now that we have a sense of safety, now we can jump up a level, y'all. We can start, oh snap, I can express love and belong to a group of people that are like-minded, or believe some of the things I believe, or whatever draws you in, you know. Think of the last time perhaps that you moved to a new city or started a new job. You will remember that feeling of being like the new person. You're new on the job or whatever. You know, maybe you got butterflies in your stomach. It weren't just about doing well at work, but how would you fit in? How would you get along with your coworkers and stuff, man? You don't know. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know what the situation is. So you want to at least know that to some extent you can fit in to that area and belong. Let me turn my light back on. It actually still look pretty good without it. That's interesting. Haven't had that happen before. We're going to keep it pushing though. All right. So you want to feel somewhat like the people that you're about to engage with on a day-to-day basis are compatible with what you need while you're there. So you want to belong. That's our need for love and belonging. Okay? Each plant in that garden feels like they belong. They do. Otherwise you wouldn't be in a garden. Okay? And then we're going to go up a level from there. Once you feel really good, you know what I'm saying? Like I belong, I'm in a good position, I have a good family, I have good friends. Now we can elevate and start focusing on our needs, our esteem needs, y'all. So as our garden grows, we start to care about how it looks to others and how it makes us feel inside. Just saying, my garden gotta look the flyest, you know what I'm saying? I just personally like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just let myself look in kind of way, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? I want my garden to stand out in its own unique way. It don't gotta look like your garden. Make your garden look like whatever it needs to look like. But my garden gonna be so fresh and so clean, or unique or creative or whatever it is that the zone I'm in the moment. But of course, as you do those things, you want somebody else to feel as good as you did coming up with this garden or this concept. That's where the self-esteem comes in. It's like your pride. It's the pride you feel when your flowers win a ribbon at the local fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go into the fair, you entering, you was growing these flowers in your garden, you go to the fair, boom, this is my flower. Who gonna touch that? You know what I'm saying? Your esteem, you know what I'm saying? You got pride behind it. But none of that matters, y'all. Like, your esteem does not matter if we don't take care of the base level of this. If we don't take care of your physiological needs, so making sure you got shelter, food, water, sleep, you know what I'm saying, your safety. Nobody care about growing no garden if you don't feel safe. Nobody. It don't make sense. If you don't feel like you belong, how you gonna have esteem? You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel like you belong nowhere, or you isolated, or you the black wolf of the family, whatever the case may be, then you're not gonna be able to express your esteem to those you want to belong with. Alright, so let me try to paint another picture for the esteem needs, just kind of give you a visual. You could think of a time perhaps when you really nailed a presentation at work, or you cooked your best dish, you mastered that recipe that you found on Google. You like, this fire, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can touch this. Even the recipe that was given to me, I still added my own little spice to it. You feel me? Okay. So that was a really good feeling of accomplishment. You did it. You made it yours. That built up your esteem. Like, man, maybe I could start cooking a little more, cause I ain't taste nobody cooking like this. Your esteem's needs are being met in that moment. It's not that you just want others to pat you on the back because of it, but it's also just your pride and you standing tall and thinking, man, I did that, yo. You can think of some hard times you've been through and you came out of them. You're like, bro, I went through that and I came out. What? Pastor preach. You know you've been through some hard stuff and you came out. You like, man, I did that. All you can do is, hey, if you pat me on the back, cool. But for myself, I gotta start there. That's your esteem, y'all. You growing that confidence in yourself because you getting closer and closer to who you truly are, and you're able to start developing at a level that those at the bottom of the pyramid, if those needs aren't being met, they can't even start building up esteem yet. And that's why it's so important that if we want a thriving society, y'all, we have to make sure that we're giving people the base to jump off of, making people feel safe, making sure their physiological needs are met, and then creating opportunities for people to feel like they belong. Then they can start working on their own esteem in whatever direction. But usually if those other base needs are being met, they won't have a reason to operate going forward in a negative space. I ain't gonna lie, if I was promised food for the rest of my life and the food was fire, come on now. Come on now. If the food was fire, y'all, what am I worried about? I get food for the rest of my life and it's fire. Every time I taste it, I'm just like, I'm melting. Come on, y'all. So we want everybody to at least get to that point where they can feel those things, y'all. And you have to make sure you do that for yourself. That's why I bring up these topics, so we can just have, we can learn something new, and we can start actually putting out in the energy field the possibilities of changing the way things are. Because who else is tired of the way things are? Who else don't like how things are? Who else can see beyond the BS? Who else believes that I don't have to believe what in this system? Clearly it speaks for itself. The results speak for itself. I don't even operate in that system in the same way that everybody do. Let's create a new system. Let's create new conversations. Let's talk about the things that people don't talk about online in the public. They talk about to the people that they feel like they can talk about it to. But let's talk about it out loud, y'all. You feel me? Alright, so next, after your esteem is built up, you start feeling look good about yourself, your food, nobody touching the recipe, you know. Then you move up to self-actualization. Okay. So let me make sure just for a second. Yeah, because the way that's shown, so that's the newer one. Yep, here we go. So this is actually the old model here. I'm just now realizing it. So they added in later a few more areas of growth in this pyramid. But let's go back to the original here. Here you go. All right, cool. So self-actualization. At the top of our pyramid, we have self-actualization. Lord have mercy. It's the garden in full bloom. Everything in this garden jumping, y'all. Each plant is reaching its highest potential. It's reaching out for the sun. It's dancing with the wind. Everything is in unity. When you get near it, the energy is just bursting out. You can feel it. You walking on a sidewalk and you getting closer and closer to this garden, and something about it just makes you turn your head. You like, I ain't never seen a garden like that. I can feel the presence of that garden. You know? So, imagine, you know what I'm saying, a master chef creating a new dish, or a painter lost in the art, or LeBron, Kobe, Michael, whoever your favorite basketball player is. You know what I'm saying? They just in their zone, y'all. It's like they out of this world and no one can stop them in that moment. They are always a step ahead, milliseconds ahead of everything that's happening. They can see the entire floor. Okay? That's a flow state, y'all. We got to get to the flow state. Your favorite musician, artist. You ever get lost in a song? And before you know, you're like, dang, I was vibing to that. Like, as soon as the song changed, you like, hold on. You almost feel disrespected that the song changed because you was in such a state. Yeah. So that state of flow where time seemed to just stand still, and you so present, and you so lost in your art, you so lost in the moment. You feel like you're connected to something higher, and you not resisting anything that's occurring, all the energy that's flowing in your body right now. You vibing on a level that you want to remain forever, 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 ever, forever, ever. Straight up, y'all. All right. So, self-actualization, y'all. You start really realizing and remembering who you are. Who you are. But we have to always go back to the base. The reason you can get to this point is because your physiological needs were met. You have shelter, food, water, sleep. You felt some sense of safety. You felt like you belong to a family, to a group of friends, to a church, whatever you feel like you belong to. You felt love in some sense from another individual. And that helps you create your esteem and build up your esteem for yourself or for what you do. And then you get in your zone. You start getting in your zone more and more. You start creating actions. You start just doing what you love, because you love being in that state. Alright, so we're going to step back and look at the garden as a whole. So number one, while we've planted our garden in layers, real life ain't so orderly. That's just facts. Life can sometimes feel like it's taking you through a loop or roller coaster, ups and downs. Sometimes it may even make you feel like you're drowning, you know? Sometimes you might be watering the soil and trimming the flowers at the same time. Okay? So, gardens look different in different parts of the world, man. We live in different countries. We got different belief systems, different cultures. The same goes for needs. What you need may be different than somebody else and what they need, for whatever the reason is on their soul path. So just because you don't need something somebody else, that don't make you superior or them inferior. Why do you need a hug so much? That's for them to figure out for themselves. But in the meantime, let's be kind to them. They need it for their reason. The end. Okay? So, culture plays a big role in how we prioritize and express our needs. The culture you grow up in is going to pretty much imprint your core beliefs for a long time in your life, until you start doing the work to realize if those beliefs still align with who you know yourself to be or want yourself to be. Your culture. The culture I grew up in was fun and exciting, but at the same time there were things about it that it's just like, yeah, we could have done without that. We could have done without that. It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit that. Every culture will have, great things about it, and some things it's just like, yeah, it's time to evolve from that. That doesn't push anybody forward. It actually is keeping people pitted against each other. So if there's something in your culture that's pitting you against someone else, especially if it's something as simple as they believe something different than you, come on, y'all. It's time to grow up. It's time to elevate. It's time to realize who you are. Okay? So, you might hear my dog back there. Someone's knocking on my door. And we're going to keep this pushing. Alright. So, Maslow's theory isn't without its critics, though. It's like he studied gardens mainly in one climate and assumed all gardens work the same way. So it still doesn't mean it's not fun to look at these theories and get a good sense of, and that's why it's still a theory, because it's not universally accepted, but it still can perhaps give you some insight on what needs to happen in order for you to get to a point where you're in the flow state or feeling yourself or able to express yourself outwardly. So recent studies have found that while these needs are universal, they may not always grow in the exact order that Maslow suggested. So we're going to use some real world applications here and kind of give y'all some, metaphors on how this theory can help. So, smart businesses are like good gardeners. They know how to get the best blooms or productivity, and they need to take care of the whole plant, the employee force, the people that's giving their blood, sweat, and tears to make sure your business is successful on the ground level. This might look like offering good health benefits, for instance, or watering your soil, fostering a strong team culture, providing the right climate, and giving opportunities for growth and recognition. Hey, son.
Somebody knocking on the door, and I tell somebody who is it, but they won't answer.
Okay, if they don't say who it is, then we don't open the door. But thank you for telling me. So they can wait. Say hey to the camera since you're here.
Hey.
Yeah. So my son Jordell with Vibrant Works today. So we just kind of learning about Maslow's hierarchy. So it's teaching people how life work and what needs we need to have in order to have fun and get to grow in ourselves. So every day you come home, what you want? Food. So that's a basic need. So what's up? You might as well come in here too, Cam. Hey, I guess this particular day, my baby's gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? My baby's gonna walk in. That's cool with me. That's cool with y'all. Well, I don't think y'all opinion matters so much, but hey.
I gotta take a bath when I do.
You gotta take a bath? Oh, okay, that's fine. So, let's get back to it, y'all. Education, teachers are like gardeners. No, they literally are gardeners. And they are tending to a diverse garden. Like each little child is a entire garden in itself. Each student is a unique plant with its own needs. It needs this amount of sunlight. This one needs this amount of sunlight. This one needs this amount of water. This needs to be planted in this type of soil. So in education, creating a classroom where students feel safe and belong is like providing the right soil and climate at the same time. Hey guys, Dad is working, okay, and I'm teaching. It's rude to interfere with that. If you want to be a part of it, we're just gonna sit here and y'all learn, okay?
Okay.
But don't be loud, hitting the door, anything like that, okay? All right, love y'all. All right. Once these base needs are met, students can focus on growing taller and brighter. You know, if we're encouraging our kids every day and talking to them like with respect, like they're humans and they're equal to us, hey, come on now. In the healthcare and nursing field, in healthcare, treating only the physical symptoms is like watering the plant, but forgetting about the sunlight and the nutrients. We just putting water on it. So Maslow's hierarchy reminds healthcare providers to nurture the whole entire person, y'all. Don't just give them medicine and think that's all that needs to be done. That's a person that we're helping, that you're helping. So treat them as such. And of course they need to treat you as such as well, because you're a person on the other end of that. And I know that. A hospital might improve patient outcomes by not only providing excellent medical care or the water, but also ensuring patients feel safe. Good soil. Allowing family visits. That's like sunlight. When family come and visit and my kids walk in, I feel like I just lit up. Although, you know, they could be a little more quieter sometimes in their approach. That's all good. And involving patients in their care plans. Letting the plant direct its own growth, because who knows better about you than yourself, you know? And then self-actualization is the peak of human potential, y'all. And that's where everyone's trying to get as a society, as an individual. In order to get our society there, you today have to start realizing who you are, what you are, why you are, when you are, how you are. It's like a garden in perfect harmony, y'all. Every plant is healthy, blooming, and coexisting beautifully. Anything that tries to come up and throw us off our pivot, we know how to pivot with it and allow it to keep pushing. Don't affect us. Maslow describes self-actualized people as seeing reality clearly, y'all. Accepting ourselves and others and being spontaneous and creative. What's funner than that, y'all? You accept who you are and nothing nobody can say. Anything somebody say to you, you turn it into a joke. Because clearly they don't know you. For instance, somebody called me, you know, ugly, for instance. I really question. That's funny to you. Hey Jojo, somebody call you ugly, what you gonna do? What you gonna say to them?
You ugly too.
You gonna call them ugly to the Lord? I'll just be like, I think your eyes need to be checked. You know what I'm saying? But nah, for real, y'all. When you really love yourself, man, nobody can tell you nothing about yourself. And then you can be more joyful and creative. You can start connecting with people in a more authentic way. You don't gotta pretend to be something you're not. Now, while Maslow believed that full-time self-actualization was rare and not many people get to that point, mainly because a lot of our base needs haven't even been met on a societal level. Like, everybody should have the right to this. This is a God-given right. And we find ways in politics and different ways for this to not even be taken care of. This problem is a base level problem. We in year 2024, y'all. We shouldn't be talking about, will kids have something to eat? Will someone have shelter? Come on, man. We shouldn't be talking about that. We should be talking about, oh, what new creative thing can we create? What new statues? Where are our pyramids? Where are our statues? Where are our great art? Where are our great anything? You know? So, in order to get there, y'all, and allow our kids to be the generation that just express themselves freely and joyfully and creatively and connect dots that we haven't even connected yet, we gotta reach our potential, y'all. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. That's mad. So I'm gonna, if you want to go look this up yourself, it's called Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. It's our guidebook to the garden of human motivation. Remember, it's not about rigidly climbing a pyramid or perfectly maintaining your garden and being perfect all the time. It ain't about that. It's about understanding the different needs that help us grow and thrive, y'all. Sometimes we might need to go back to the basics and water our soil. Water your soil. Stop trying to water other folks' soil. You feel me? Other times we might be ready to reach for the sky and bloom. When you in your season to bloom, go rock it out. Go do what you do in that season. You know it's your season. Why you holding yourself back? Why aren't you maximizing your opportunity, your moment? Create that moment over and over again, as long as possible. But the key is recognizing what you need at any given moment to flourish. Everybody needs at different points in time in your life is different. Sometimes you may have to focus on your physical, medical health. Sometimes you need to focus on your mental health, your spiritual health, your relationship, being there with your kids. And that's okay. Just know that's perfect timing. Whatever you need to do in a moment and you do it, that's perfect. Okay? Now, man, go on, jump in these comment sections. You know what I'm saying? I wanna hear from y'all, man. My vibrant minds. I want to hear from y'all. What area of your personal garden needs the most tending right now? Throw it in the comment. Be vulnerable. It's okay. Be yourself. Perhaps someone has the answer to your question. How might understanding this hierarchy change the way you nurture your own growth or support others? I just want your wheels to spin a little more. So I'm going to ask these questions. Can you think of a time when you saw these different levels of needs clearly influencing someone's behavior? So plant your thoughts in my comment below and let's grow this discussion together. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more seeds of psychological wisdom, y'all. Until next time, let's keep growing and blooming. Justin with Vibrant Works. What's your name?
Jordell.
Jordell what?
Fell.
Jordell Fails.
Davion.
Okay, middle name, everything. So love y'all. Y'all have a blessed night and pay attention to this pyramid over and over. Study it, you know what I'm saying? And I swear, if you really understand it, you'll start working on building out the base. Then you create the next level of your base, and then you'll go up and up and up. And before you know it, you living a life you can only dream of. And it's okay to be the only one that live the life you can dream of. Nobody else live your dream. Nobody else create your dream. Don't keep yourself stuck because you feel like you're leaving people behind. No, show them there's a way out of their circumstances, of their way of thinking, of their belief systems. There's a way out. Be the representation for your particular family and friends. Nobody else believed but you. So be that person. Don't pretend not to be that person when you know you that person. It don't even make sense. But thank y'all, man. Y'all have a blessed day. Let me go ahead and wrap this up. All right, let's do our handshake to wrap this up, Joe G's. Get it right. All right, come on. Vibrant Works, man. Y'all be blessed.